So here we are going to be subtracting numbers that have a negative sign to it. Here we have 1 subtract 3. So technically, 1 subtract 3 is saying, let us try to take out 3 from 1. Okay, let's say you have 4 subtract 9. Now, just pause a bit. If we want to separate those two numbers, this would be wrong. That would be totally wrong. Because this sign belongs to 9. 4 has its sign, you know. The sign of 4 is a positive. The sign of a number is always on its left side. On the right side of a sign is its number. It's sign and number, left and right. Sign and number, left and right. So a sign is on the left side of its number. The number is on the right side of its sign. So this sign, 9 cannot go away and leave its sign alone. And then you're going to change now to a positive. That cannot happen because if you don't see a sign, there's an invisible positive. So if by chance we want to separate those two numbers, then we have to start there. And that's a 4 and a negative 9. And when you separate two numbers, look at what happened. Let's say you look at this number, that expression, you say 4 subtract 9. But let's say if you want to separate, because these are two numbers, you want to separate them, that's how you separate them. You create a gap between them. And what do you say? This is a 4 and a negative 9. A 4 and a negative 9. And this and now can be replaced with a plus sign. Whenever you see a gap between two things, you are saying and in arithmetic is plus. So that's a 4 plus a negative 9. Okay, so get accustomed of doing these things. It's very, very important. When you bring them close together, 4 take away 9. When you separate them, this is 4 and negative 9. Bring them back together. You're trying to take out 9 from 4. When you take out 1, take out 2, take out 3, take out 4, you still have 5 more to take out. You still have 5 more to take out. 4 minus 9 is a negative 5. Let's go to this one then. 4 minus open bracket, and you have a minus 1 inside. So let's say you have a 6, and you have a minus, you have an open bracket, and you have a minus 2. You want to separate? Yes, you can do that. So this is a 6 and this. Now what is going on there? There is an invisible negative. There's an invisible 1. That sign belongs to a 1. Because on the right side of a sign is always a number. The right side of a sign is not a bracket. On the right side of a sign is a number. If you don't see a number, it's 1. And what is going on there? That's a 1 times. So that's actually 6 and a negative 1 times a negative 2. That is what is going on there. A 6 and a negative 1 times a negative 2. What is a negative 1 times a negative 2? A negative times a negative is a positive. So 6 and 2, that's 6 plus 2. 6 and 2 is equal to 8. Or let me just write it. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. So the answer is 8 for this one. Here you have 6 minus, you have a minus 6 in a bracket. Let's put a minus 6 in a bracket. In the bracket, you put negative 6. Then you have a minus, and you have an open bracket and a minus 8. You look at this, please don't make this confuse you. You can simply write it down. Don't make it confuse you at all. You can do a little separation. When it's close together, it's looking a little confusing. Remember, this sign belongs to a number on its right. So it has to go with it. So that -6 is by itself. Now what is going on there? You have a -1 times a -8. We all know this is -6 by now. And we all know a negative times a negative is a positive. That's a +8, a +8. So that's a 6 and a +8. A -6, sorry, and a +8. You want to take out 6 from 8. You will take out all your 6. You will still have 2 left over, 2 extra. So let's go over that again. That's a -6 by itself, and that's a -1 times a -8. A -1 times a -8, here it is. Right? Try to separate them and don't make that confuse you. This -1 times -8 is by itself. The -6 is by itself. So that's a +8. Subtract 6 is 2. Here you have a -6 plus 8. This one is fairly simple. You're trying to take out 6 from 8. Let me put a similar example whereby the negative number, let's make it smaller in values. So let's say you have a -14 and you have a plus 20. So you're trying to take out 14 from 20. When you take out 14 from 20, you have 6 extra, +6 left over. You cannot take away anymore. You have exhausted all the taking away, and you still have 6 extra. So apply this to these 4 questions in number